What is up, YouTube? It's your boy, the Walk 71, replaced the 8 with a 4, and I have my WWE Night of Champions 2014 review. Now, the ending of this match, the ending of this match, I don't like it, but we're gonna talk about it later because I'm still in my mind. There's a lot of stuff I gotta talk about for that ending of the match. But first, let's start at how we always started, which is with the kickoff show. Now, the kickoff show was actually an hour instead of 30 minutes. I guess I don't even know why it was an hour, because to be honest, I don't understand why it was an hour. I thought it was gonna be like an extra 30 minutes because the Peep Show, which was Christian's return, I thought that was going to be a whole 30 minutes, and then they was going to talk about whatever, but that was actually about 15 minutes, and I didn't realize they was going to take that long just talking about the pay-per-view. And honestly, Christian returned, I guess you can say. He didn't wrestle, but he returns, and Chris Jericho was there talking, but when that segment started to happen, my PlayStation 4 started to mess up, and it just started, tweaking, and on my PS4, and I didn't feel like watching it on there, so I watched it on my PS3 for about a good hour and a half, 2 hours, I believe, and then I got tired of it. For about the first hour, I watched it on there, and then the other 2 hours, I watched it on my PS3. PS3, I watched it for about an hour, and then the rest, I had to watch on my phone because it started messing up on my PS3 also, and I heard that the network was messing up on a lot of consoles, on the Xboxes and the PS4s and PS3s, and I didn't feel like dealing with it, so good thing I had my phone on me, and I was just sitting there watching it. Now, the opening match of the pay-per-view, which was the WWE Tag Team Championship match, and honestly, this was a disappointment tag team match. Now, the winners are Gold and Stardust. They are your brand new WWE Tag Team Champions. And my thing about it is, this match, I honestly didn't have high hopes for this match, to be honest with you. I'm not really a big fan of the Stardust. I like Cody Rhodes better. I like Cody as himself better than Stardust. And honestly, if you wanted the Usos to drop the titles, they should have dropped it back at Battleground when they faced the Wyatt families, because the Wyatts probably deserve the title more than Gold and Stardust. Because technically Gold and Stardust have already been tag team championships back when Stardust was Cody Rhodes back then, and I think that it would have been better for the Wyatts to have the title. But to be honest, the tag team division overall is not that good, to be honest with you, because back when the Usos did win the championship, it wasn't really that much of a tag team. We had the Shield, but they was, doing their own thing as a trio and not as a tag team that much at that time. And then we had, we didn't really have that much of a tag team division now. And about a month ago, we just came up with a brand new tag team with Mark Henry and Big Show. So, the tag team division is, kind of disappointing. But, if you want them to drop the titles, not to them, not to Golden Stardust. They're just not, to be honest, they're not really, tag team material like that anymore. Unless it was just Cody Rhodes and Goldust, because you had a balance of both. I'm not really that big on Stardust. I'm not a fan of Stardust. I really don't like them. But next match, we had a United States Championship match. Now, this match was between Cesaro and the United States Champion. Cesaro. Now, the winner of this match was Sheamus with a bro kick, of course. And this match was average, mediocre, and the winner should have been Cesaro. Now, the match was average or whatever. Nothing really happened. We got, we're going to get our uppercuts, and we're going to get, our little two-hand clotheslines or whatever. But, you know what Sheamus does. But, this match, I really didn't expect that much from this match, because whenever they have a match, they don't have, a big match. I think, the last good match is probably at Payback when they opened up the show for the championship. But other than that, I really don't think they was gonna have that much of a good match as I thought they were. Maybe because they've had so many freaking matches within the past 4 or 5 months that it's not really that big of a deal anymore as we all thought it was gonna be, as I thought it was gonna be. And then It should have been Cesaro because Sheamus' title reign is over. He hasn't really been as much as a champion. I still didn't agree that he won that battle royal over Dean Ambrose and that to win the championship. But I thought that this would have been a perfect time for for Sheamus to drop the title to Cesaro. This would have been the perfect time for him to do it. They could have one more match for the title. Cesaro wins. He's a 2-time United States Championship because Cesaro is up there. People like him. He's a likable person to people. People like him, and it's been a perfect time for him to win the title. But there's nothing else for me to talk about. Now the next match was a match I wanted to see, which was Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship, one of the most decorated titles according to Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler and JBL. And this match, I liked it. We had Florida Georgia Line on the commentary, which made no sense because if this is a championship match, it should be about the championship and not a country band or whatever. But there's no point of having a country band during a championship match. And if this is supposed to be a very highly decorated title, you're supposed to be focused on the match and not on a rock band. That's all I have to say about that. Now the winner of this match is The Miz, and he is your brand new Intercontinental Champion, making him a 4-time Intercontinental Champion. Or I stopped counting after he won it against Wade Barrett at WrestleMania 29. I stopped counting. I stopped counting after that. So The Miz, he's a 5-time Intercontinental Champion. I think 5 times. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. He might be a 5-time or 4-time. Please do not quote me on that. No. I'm wrong. Well, hold on. Yeah, he might be a 4 or 5-time champion. I'm not sure. But if he's a 5-time, woohoo. If he's a 4-time, I really don't care. The match, Dolph Ziggler should have won. It was in his favor to win, to be honest. It should have been Dolph's from the beginning because, people like Dolph. I like Dolph. He's a good wrestler, good person on the mic. He's good on the mic, and the championship made him look better, in my opinion, because, really, any title on Dolph makes him look good because I remember when everybody was all hyped when he won the World Heavyweight Championship 2 years ago. No, last year, and he was a champion. Everybody was Dolph fanatics. Everybody was with Dolph and everything. And when he won the Intercontinental title, it was the perfect time for him because he was still he was still high. He was still high at that time. He was still good. He's still momentum. His people still liked him and everything. So Dolph Ziggler should have won, but if he's probably gonna win at the sale next month, but we'll see. And the ending, he should have hit him with a skull crusher finale than a roll-up pin, a regular roll-up pin that you could watch on Raw. That usually happens on Raw. That's all I gotta say about that match. It should have been Dolph Ziggler for the win. Anyway, next we were supposed to have Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. But if you didn't know, I should say yesterday, this video probably is going to come out on Monday, but Saturday, Roman Reigns had an emergency hernia surgery, and he was, he couldn't compete for the match. So the match was, called off, but Seth Rollins came out talking, saying, Roman Reigns is not half the man as he thought he would to fight him. Having surgery is not an excuse to not fight. Seth Rollins was trying to make himself look good. And then after that, he had the referee count out Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins wins, by count out because Roman Reigns wasn't even in the match. But after that, Seth Rollins had issued a challenge to anybody in the locker room to fight him instead of Roman Reigns, for him to get another victory to make him still look strong. So what happened was a taxi cab came out on the backstage, and guess who came back? Dean Ambrose. God has answered my prayers because I've been praying for Dean Ambrose to come back ever since I heard he was finished filming his movie, because that's the reason why he was gone, and that's the reason why they put his head through cinder blocks, is because he had to film his movie for about a month. So after that, he came back, and they start to have their brawl as usual. They tried to look back at Battleground when they had their first brawl, which was crazy. They had reinforcements come in, but that didn't stop Dean Ambrose. They start to fight again until Triple H got reinforcements, and they had tied Dean Ambrose and carried him out the ring. And that was the end of that segment, and that was basically the end of that. That was, to be honest, it's kind of ironic that Roman Reigns had got injured, because what I predicted ever since Dean Ambrose was out, I had predicted if Roman Reigns is going to feud with Seth Rollins, feud with him now. And then after that, they're going to feud for about a month, which basically happened. And they was going to have that one match. Seth Rollins was going to win, and then they were going to end. Or, just to keep Seth Rollins busy until Dean Ambrose was done, because their rivalry was never really finished. And then I thought that maybe they was going to end the rivalry at Survivor Series, or not Survivor Series, but end it at TLC in like a tables, ladders, and chairs match, or for a tables, ladders, and chairs match, or a chairs match, or something crazy to end their rivalry. And I hope that they do that, because the Survivor Series is going to have that traditional match, so put them in that, hold off on the rivalry for about a month or so, and then have them end their rivalry at TLC. And honestly, I'm not saying it's a good thing that Roman Reigns got injured. It's like, I hope he comes back and recovers, but like, with Roman Reigns getting injured, it was actually good for Dean Ambrose to come back at the right time. It's actually the perfect time for Dean Ambrose to come back, and it's the perfect time for them to continue their rivalry that I've enjoyed ever since their rivalry started, with their incredible SummerSlam match. And it's good, and I can't wait till Raw to see what happens next. Now, the next match on the card was USA versus Russia, Mark Henry versus Rusev. Now, Mark Henry came out earlier tonight. Big Show talked to Mark Henry, but I really wasn't paying attention, because I had to carry some groceries. I had to do some stuff, and he basically talk to him, you know how people talk to each other, you better, do well or whatever. And honestly, Mark Henry had the biggest chip on his shoulder, because if he loses, he's going to be just like Jack Swagger. He's going to let his country down, because SummerSlam, Jack Swagger let his country down when he couldn't defeat Rusev when it was America versus, Russia, USA versus Russia. And now I'm kind of disappointed, because what was the point of having them feud? But what was that name? Mark Henry came out with a red, white, and blue attire on, looking crazy, looking very patriotic. Had Lillian Garcelli even sing the national anthem, which I thought Mark Henry has to win. Come on, you can't do all, then have him lose. Rusev came out, they had their match, and the win of the match is Rusev, unfortunately, and Mark Henry let the country down. So basically, Mark Henry is probably going to get buried now, because he let his country down, or he's probably going to get into a feud with Bo Dallas, just like Jack Swagger did. But he let his country down, and honestly, the match really was short to me. The only reason Mark Henry tapped out was because I guess he got thrown into the steps, and I guess that hurt his back. And then he actually got out of the accolades at one point, but it actually hit the World's Strongest Slam on Rusev, but that didn't stop him, because then Rusev had hit the accolades, and he tapped out. He tapped out without hesitation too. That's what was crazy. He tapped out without hesitation. He didn't even, have like the little sequence where he would wait, try to tap out, try to fight back. No, he was he tapped out just like that. So Russia wins again. Rusev is still undefeated, and I guess UFC will never win, I guess, which is terrible. And then the next match, which is probably one of the best matches, I have to say it was a good match, good performance from both men. I actually wasn't looking forward to this match, because I didn't feel like watching another Chris Jericho versus Randy Orton match, but it was Chris Jericho versus Randy Orton. And this match was incredible. Now, the winner of this match, as we all predicted, it was going to be Randy Orton. There was no way. There's no point of Jericho winner. The only reason this rivalry actually started is because Randy Orton attacked Chris Jericho from behind in the trainer's room, and it was just to make it was just to make Randy Orton look strong and make him look, basically have his heel character come out and make him, look good. And that was the point of the match, to make him look good. Just like for Roman Reigns at SummerSlam against Randy Orton, it was to make Reigns to look good. So that's how I knew Randy Orton was gonna win. But the match was great. We got a cold breaker, we got a superplex, and the ending was actually Chris Jericho got hit with the WWE 2K14 OMG catching finisher moment of the night. Chris Jericho was about to go, I guess, for a crossbody, got hit with the RKO just like that, and it connected all smooth and Krispy Kreme donut like with the sprinkles on top. It was crazy. And after he hit him with the RKO, it was a 1, 2, 3, and I think Chris Jericho was supposed to kick out. I'm not sure because he kicked his leg after the 3, so I'm not even sure. But either way, it was to make Randy Orton look good, and he looked good in this match. So did Chris Jericho. He did great. You can't expect less from Chris Jericho. That's the type of matches he puts on like every night. So good for Chris Jericho to put on performance, but also it's starting to make Randy Orton look strong. But he's not gonna become no champion though. But it's gonna make him look strong. And the ending was crazy. I'm still mesmerized by the ending. I like the ending. Now the next match on the card, which was the Divas Championship match. It was a triple threat between AJ Lee, Nikki Bella, and their Divas champion Paige. Triple threat match. I honestly, the winner of this match was AJ. She's now a three-time WWE Divas champion. Yeah, so she's a Divas champion. So, I don't know what to say about it, except for if What's Her Face was gonna win, why didn't she just win at SummerSlam? What was the whole point of making a triple threat match? What was the whole point? And I thought that Brie Bella was actually gonna get involved with this match just to screw over her sister, but then she said, that's still my sister, so I still have, love her or whatever. Actually, Nikki Bella did great in this match. She did good. I didn't really expect her to do that much. I expected Brie Bella to get involved, and they were supposed to fight, and then it was just gonna be Paige and AJ. Paige actually did good too. All three of them really did good. See, the ending of this match was the Black Widow. But my only complaint about this match is if you was gonna have AJ Lee win the championship tonight, why didn't she just retain it at SummerSlam? What's the point? That's all I have to say about it. Now the next match was just the main event of the night for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match, the biggest rematch in WWE history right now. Currently, we have John Cena versus Brock Lesnar, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. Now, usually I'll start, say who won this match, but I'm gonna talk about the match and everything else. Now, the match in itself was good. It wasn't dominant. It wasn't a dominant match like it was at SummerSlam, where Cena was getting destroyed. 16 German suplexes, 69 strikes, 7 knees to the body. Cena only was on the ground for Cena only had about a minute and 17 seconds of offense and about 11 minutes and something seconds on the ground. So it wasn't that type of match. He wasn't getting murdered, but it was an even fight. I think this match should have been their SummerSlam match, except for the ending. But I think this should have been their SummerSlam match. I'm just saying that should have been. It was more even. Cena had, his offense. Brock Lesnar got in his suplexes, his punches. Cena got in his punches. Actually, he had hit attitude adjustment, I think, within the first 30 seconds, just like their SummerSlam match, which was ironic and weird. And then Brock Lesnar hit a Kimura lock. I don't know. I remember the last time he hit a Kimura lock. I think it was either his match with CM Punk at SummerSlam or WrestleMania 29. It's been a while. That was the last time I remember him using a Kimura lock. He hit I think he hit the Kimura lock at least 4 times. Cena hit the attitude adjustment about 4 times. Now, during this match, Brock Lesnar did not even hit one F5 in this match. but Cena hit about 4 F5s, and he had hit the STF about 2 times. Actually, Brock Lesnar reversed the STF into a Kimura lock. But this match, it's better. I thought Cena, I didn't think he was gonna get dominated this time, but it could have been better towards the ending. And I'm gonna hold off on the ending because I still have to talk about it. Lesnar looked good, Cena looked good, but we all thought Cena was gonna win because that's what he does. He overcomes the odds. He will always end up on top, and we all thought Cena was gonna win. And I would have been fine with Cena winning because I'm a Cena fan. A lot of people aren't, but I am, and I wouldn't mind Cena winning. I really wouldn't care. But if he would have won, I was like, I would have thought about it. Why wouldn't he just retain it at SummerSlam? And now we get to the ending. Now, for the ending, I feel bad for people who pay $55 to $60 for whatever dollars or whatever, how much people pay for this pay-per-view, because the ending was not worth $50. Now the $9.99, that was good. We got everything else but the pay-per-view to watch, so that's why I still like the WWE Network. But I feel bad for people who have to pay for it for that ending, because the ending was not good. So Cena was, during that, he hit the STF. Now Seth Rollins came in, and I knew something was going to happen. I knew something bad. I just had a feeling in my gut, because there's no way Cena's just going to win like that and just overcome the odds. And I knew something had to happen. Something had to happen. So Seth Rollins came out with his Money in the Bank briefcase and started beating Cena with it. And then after that, the match ended in disqualification, and Brock Lesnar retained the title. But Cena didn't lose. He won the match, but he didn't win the title. And I feel like that's going to become an interesting part in their match next month at the Cell. I feel like that's going to be their reason for that match. That's how I feel about it. That's going to be a reason, Cena won, but he still didn't get the title, or something like that. And they might make it a triple threat match. But and even if Seth Rollins did, he had hit Lesnar with a curb stomp, and he cashed in the briefcase. He was going for it, but the bell never rang. So Cena ended up attacking Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins got out, and Lesnar had hit the F5 on Cena, grabbed the title, and left. And Cena still won, but Lesnar was the champion. Now I thought Triple H was gonna come out and say, we need a winner. I guess we needed a fair match, but he's not really gonna care. So now let me talk about the ending. So a couple of things I want to talk about. So if you're gonna have a hype match, Cena, the biggest rematch, he was probably supposed to win at first. I'm not sure, maybe this whole thing was planned out, but if you wanted to have the biggest rematch, Cena had to win this match, because it was like his thing, overcome the odds. He probably had to win this match, because the win mattered more to Cena than it did to Lesnar. If Lesnar won, he would have proved to everybody again why he is the World Heavyweight Champion and why he could defeat Cena again. If Cena won, he would have overcame the odds of being champion. Now the other thing is, if you're gonna have Seth Rollins come in and in the match with the briefcase and cash in, why not make him the World Heavyweight Champion? WWE always brags that they're ready for the future, and you keep holding on to the past of ruthless aggression, Brock Lesnar and Cena, who are like from the ruthless aggression from the past, and you want to have the future be on top. You should have had Seth Rollins cash in the briefcase and won the title, because that's what WWE is built on, the future coming up. Just like they had the people after Attitude Era, they had the ruthless aggression happen, and now we have this, that, and the other, and we're supposed to have the future. Like NXT, they keep saying the future is now, the future is this, that, and the other. Seth Rollins is the future. He's going to be a future World Heavyweight Champion, whether you like it or not, and this would have been the perfect opportunity for him to cash it in WWE, to talk about that they have their future is that the future is this top at the top. And I think that if Cena wasn't going to win, Brock Lesnar wasn't going to win either. That's how I felt about it. Also, when Seth Rollins came out, if Cena wasn't going to win, Brock Lesnar shouldn't have won. Now, Cena can say that he beat Brock Lesnar, but honestly, I don't think WWE would do that, where they would end the rivalry off of that. I think that they're going to have one more match, and why not have it in a Cell match? Because, they're trapped inside there, and nobody can get in, nobody can get out, and Cena can, Lesnar can destroy him in there. They can both destroy each other in there. So I think that's probably where WWE is headed to it. That's what I predict. They're heading to that. Maybe make it a triple threat match. Depends. Or if Cena wins, maybe Seth Rollins cashes in at the sale next month. We'll see. We'll see. But anyway, guys, like, comment, favorite, subscribe. Thank you for watching me. That's a lot. That's how I feel about it. I feel bad for people who order, pay $40-$50 for it. Anyway, guys, to do like, comment, favorite, subscribe. You do support me, support you and your kids. Anyway, guys, follow me, subscribe, follow me on my social media sites. Anyway, guys, I'm out of here. Peace.